This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios, Kokumlemle in Accra, at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including Kekeli FM in Ho, A1 Radio in Bolgatanga, Radio Max Takrade. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, SuperSem, Build Your Dream, and Telesol 4G, just a touch. In this edition, joint police and military team arrested dozens of suspected criminals in the central region enclave of Buduburam after a series of attacks, including one that resulted in the death of 2 police officers.
Nobody is excluded from that. But we talk about major crime, going to arm rob, kill somebody on the scene, go and kill police officer, go and kill chief. These are now our era. Yeah. So they don't come, a Liberian part of them, that they carry them. We don't have time for that, so we are okay with that. So they can come back again and do a search again.
We have details of the swoop in a community considered a den of criminals, plus another crackdown in the western region on suspected criminals. We're live in Takrade. Now, from selling cooked beans near toilets to operating food joints without permits, the story of parts of Jamestown uncovered as Joy News tours with AMA sanitation inspectors in the Joy Clean Ghana campaign.
You cannot store it under the toilet and use it to prepare food. It's not done anywhere.
Her medical certificate is also expired.
Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu drags Attorney General and construction firm Waterville to the Supreme Court for failing to enforce judgment debt retrieval order handed government in 2013. We'll bring you details of the suit. We have sports.
A rapturous welcome for the Black Meteors team at the Kotika International Airport after defeating Algeria to make this year's Africa Under-23 Nations Cup.
We have all that and more coming up here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. And we start off from the central region where over 100 suspected criminals have been arrested at Buduburam in a joint police and military swoop this morning. A team of military men and police officers stormed the area to effect the arrest. The area, which was a refugee camp for displaced Liberians, has been described as a haven for criminals. The recent incidents of crime in the area include the gunning down of 2 police officers at Buduburam and the lynching of a sub-chief at Gomwa Akramang. The suspects, mostly Ghanaians, have been moved to Accra for further screening. Our reporter Maxwell Agbagba is on the ground and spoke to some residents.
Nobody is excluded from that. But we talk about major crime, going to arm rob, kill somebody on the scene, go and kill police officer, go and kill chief. These are now our era. Yeah. So they don't come, a Liberian part of them, that they carry them. We don't have time for that, so we are okay with that. So they can come back again and do a search again. What they want to see, let them come again. Yes.
So you are happy that has happened? Why are you happy? Is it because of the criminal activities here?
The reason I'm happy, the 2 policemen they killed, it hurt me in my soul up to now.
It brought the idea of what we suffer from in Liberia back to us. Like for example, for me, I was in my house, so a police coming midnight, busting up my door to take me up and put me on the street. When I got back to my house, all what I had was taking away my document.
We want to find out from you, how was the swoop conducted? And we see your people gathered here. A lot of them have concerns. Some of them are telling us that they feel that this camp has been taken over by Ghanaians here, and it's no longer the Nigerians who live here. It's no longer the Liberians.
Yeah, this place. We Liberians are here. We are minority, and we don't have control over what is going on this camp. And the security come and don't discriminate who is who. They come and we all suffer from it. Those who are saying that what went on was caught. They not suffer from it. For me, I was sitting in this under the ring this morning. I suffer from it.
So whilst there, Maxwell Agbagba also interacted with the chairman of the Liberian community in Ghana, Reverend Father Henning, who says Liberians cannot be blamed for the criminal activities in the community.
We can assure you that Liberians are not engaged into major crimes that were panicking and destructive and evil. It might be some minor domestic problems or whatsoever, but crime, armed robbery, killing, and all of those things is far from us. Look, we came to seek refuge here. And I think Ghanaians are very good to us. Secondly, we are interrelated, and so we will always like to maintain our respect and love, for this nation, and to be law-abiding. And our relationship is far beyond what people look at. So we won't want to be people who will create any problem wherever we are. No.
You heard the Reverend Father Henning. He's the chairman of the Liberian community in Ghana. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba is still on the ground and joins us with live updates. Maxwell, first walk us through how this operation was conducted.
Well, we told the police and military sources that a first swoop by the Castle Police Divisional Command happened around 3 p.m. yesterday. The Joint Police military team from Accra took over the operations this dawn. Some Budumbram residents have been speaking to say they started seeing some of the armed policemen and military men around 3 a.m. to this morning around 9 a.m. They say the soldiers and policemen knocked on their doors. When they opened, they were searched. Their rooms were also searched. Some of the suspects who were arrested were immediately transported to Accra. We are told that even before that started, the exit and entry points here at Budumbram were barricaded. You will not be allowed to go in without a thorough search. Some of the residents I've been speaking to say they were a bit hesitant to open their doors because they were not sure of the identities of the people who were knocking around that time. What we saw when we got to Budumbram was about 3 big buses full of soldiers. There were quite a number of police pickup also with armed men and some Operation Vanguard pickup also.
But we have the official figures as to the number of arrests made so far.
Well, because of the manner in which the operation was conducted, usually when they pick up the suspects, they put them in the bed of a pickup and with a blaring siren, they move quickly to Accra. So it will be difficult to tell the number of people who were arrested in that swoop. The officials also would not tell us the number of people who have been arrested. But one of the officers we spoke to told us that there will be a briefing later to announce the number of people who are arrested in the swoop.
I must add that it's been unsuccessful so far reaching the police on this developing issue, but we're still trying from here. But Maxwell, you spoke with the camp manager, Mr. Obimpe. What exactly did he tell you?
Well, he says the majority of the people who are arrested are Ghanaians and people of other nationalities. He says officially they've received complaints from 4 Liberians who've come to the refugee office there to file an official complaint. But he says that they will be meeting later today to discuss how they can go and then respond to the needs of the people who have been arrested.
Our colleagues have been arrested. I'm thinking that is not a big deal. It's an operation. Since we have a leadership in place here, we can make a follow-up. We have our managers in Accra. We already informed them. They are working towards that. Okay. So we appeal to the community that if any refugees involved, the office is open. The leadership we are working together. We are all hand in hand here. We have a police station here. We have a fire service station. We have an office here. They can come to us and we dialogue and inform our managers.
Okay, so once again, how many Liberians were taken away?
As at now, I cannot tell, but we are still on the ground to know the total number. Only 4 families who reported to me that they picked 4 of their children out. Okay. Those are the people who reported to me, but we are still on the ground waiting to see how many people will come down. Okay. I call the leadership because every zone we have a leader there. I call upon them for emergency meeting to inform them what is going on. They are also aware, so that we find out. So anybody have a problem that they arrest his or her son or a wife or husband, the office is open. We are their midst 24 hours. We work day to day and to share all the ideas with them.
Okay, but are you happy about what has happened? A lot of people I speak to here are happy about the soup.
For me, I would say I'm happy. Why am I saying that? This is a refugee camp. And it's a normal thing, and it's a Ghanaian community. The camp has grown such a way that we are in the midst of Ghanaians. You know, those days this place was a bushy area. You understand me? But for example, we have other camps in Ghana. They are isolated from the town. But now you cannot see the difference between the host community and the town, unless some of us have to take it to show our boundary. So if it happens, it doesn't mean only Liberians alone will be affected. It affects a lot of non-Liberians, non-people, not only Liberians alone. You understand me? So that's the reason I'm saying that I'm fine, and they are helping us to back up with our security apparatus in Ghana. And even in my village, they went there recently. While that place is not a refugee camp, they went there. And this is not a normal thing. This is not the first time.
You heard that the Budumbram camp manager, Mr. Obimpe, speaking to my colleague Maxwell Agbagba. He's still following up on that and we'll get details in our subsequent bulletins. But it appears a similar exercise was carried out in the Western region where 100 police and military officers were deployed. In Natalia Kwanzaa is our Western regional correspondent. She's been following all the action and joins us on the line. So, Ina, bring us up to speed on this operation.
Yes, so it happens around 4 a.m. at 2 communities in the Western region, all suburbs of Sekendi, that is European Town, and then Abotbusun Tresam Fishing Harbour. In all, the police were able to arrest 213 suspected criminals. Out of these, 194 were males and 19 were females. Some exhibits that they also retrieved from some of the soup sites were quantities of dry leaves they suspect to be Indian hemp, toffee suspected to be laced with narcotic substance, and beverages also suspected to be laced with narcotic substance. They also retrieved 8 TV sets, 5 laptops, and 2 decoders.
Kidnapping is not, as good to say, an order of the day within the region. In all the kidnap cases we are reporting or talking about, there are 4. And our investigations have disclosed that the perpetrators, they had good rapport with them. They know them. So please come. I want to do this thing for you. You go, and that is all. All what we have to do is that we have to talk to our children and our sisters. Come and collect mobile phone. Do you know that person? What work have you done for that person to get a mobile phone? So the kidnapping we are talking about, we want to emphasize today that the region is not characterized by activities or incidents. We as parents, we also have a duty to ensure the safety of our children.
You heard the Western Regional Police Commander ACP Edmund Ohene Busumpim there speaking to journalists after that operation. Now let's move on to sanitation, because sanitation inspectors from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly have been they've actually moved. Yesterday we were in Jamestown, and they've given 7 residents of Jamestown, including food vendors, up to 48-hour ultimatum to clean up their surroundings or face prosecution. During a tour of the enclave as part of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign, inspectors uncovered serious insanitary conditions. One food vendor was found to have stored plantain close to a toilet, while another friend had plantain right in front of a toilet. Nancy Emefajadosi joined the team and has come through with his report.
The team served notice to a food vendor who was selling at the edge of a gutter that was inundated with greyish fluid, food residue and plastic bags.
First thing, your poucho, tum, why?
That was not all. The Assembly's bylaws demand that food vendors cover their heads and wear aprons. One food vendor was found not to have covered her head. Rather, she had painted her nails.
Cover your head so that the hair will not fall on the food. And then apron. Without that, you cannot sell food for public consumption. Let me see your fingernails. You are not supposed to paint cuties or whatever.
In another home, there was only one toilet, 7 over 25 residents.
Now we nipa boy 20 something. Now we see we use toilet. E kire say ebi amuko toilet no bathroom na mo chichire do two baby meboa. Serve them the letter.
I'll give it to Evira.
In this same house, the first floor of the story building was hanging loosely and on the verge of collapse. There were deep cracks on the walls with a very shaky wooden floor.
You can cave in. Whoever is here can cave in, and a disaster, a pending disaster here. Somebody lives here. All this is a corridor. We are serving her a notice to serve to the co-landlord for you to come and reconstruct here, or you remove everything out from the place here. We'll come for re-inspection. When we come and you don't do what we are recommending for you to do, we'll prepare you for court.
But the house had more problems. Their gutter was choked with a thick porridge-like liquid. It was a cocktail of filth. The inspector, Asitanga, instructed the residents to clean up. In the house of a popular beans and fried plantain seller, we found her dishing out and selling food right in front of her bathroom that had green algae. The team found out that her health card was also outdated. Guess what? She also fried the plantain at the entrance of the toilet. The most worrying situation for the inspectors was when several bunches of plantain, meant for gari and beans, was being stored by the toilet, an attempt to get it ripened by the heat generated by the latrine.
I'm not giving anything to you that is in the toilet there. We are not giving it to you. Okay? It's going to serve as a deterrent to you. Tomorrow, everybody will see what we are doing and nobody will repeat it. You cannot store it under the toilet and use it to prepare food. It's not done anywhere.
In all, The second day, despite the chaos, was generally successful.
You heard that Nancy Emefa Dradosi with that report, but the inspection exercise faced a stronger position by an assemblyman for the area, Joseph Addo, popularly known as Zola, who slapped my Joy Online photojournalist David Ando. Joseph Addo then organized a mob to stop the exercise by the AMA sanitation inspectors, but Mayor Mohammed Ni Ajeso says he's unfazed by the action.
In low-income and informal communities, some of these things may happen, and that is why the Public Health Department will continue to visit those areas and make sure that people do the right thing. The congestion alone could be part of the problem. So I think that we'll continue with the exercise.
Can we always watch over people?
It's an attitude that had been part of our culture over a long period of time. And the president's statement is a wake-up call to all and sundry. And that's why we are excited that the media is also partnering us in doing these things. We have to continue with some of these things to a certain level that it will be in our subconsciousness that this is what we are supposed to do. Whatever happened yesterday cannot in any way demoralize the team. And I want us to end on a very positive note.
Now, a court summons has since been procured for the assemblyman to appear before the court on Monday. Commander of the Jamestown Police, Superintendent Samuel Odame, says the assemblyman Joseph Addo will be made to face the law.
As I speak, he has still not showed up, but we have done what is expected of us lawfully. When cases of this nature are reported, if we can arrest, we can invite. He chose to invite him to come and assist in the investigation. Unfortunately, he decided not to do another invitation. Once we invite you to assist in the investigation to find out exactly what happened and we decide not to another invitation, then you have no option than to then believe the allegation being leveled against you and then proceed to have a criminal summons set on you. And that is exactly what we have done. We have secured criminal summons from the Ajabin District Court, and therefore we served the summons through the assembly. Once we've done that, it's been served, and we're expecting to make an appearance on Monday. Failure. The next step is to ask the court to give us a bench warrant.
You have a Superintendent Samuel Odame, Jamestown Police Commander, and in Kumasi, the KMA Love FM sanitation campaign is on. The sanitation enforcement team today seized food prepared and sold near the Abuabu storm drain. Yes, what transpired?
Kasa, the fellow was saying, what's your name? What's your name? Aisha again. Aisha Alasan. But you are near my own.
So those are sounds from a sanitation inspector confronting a food vendor about the insanitary conditions under which she's selling her food. Erastus Asari Donko witnessed it all and joins us on the line. Erastus, tell us more about this exercise.
Well, so we have a public toilet which is sitting within the community. They have created a pipe for it and a tap to go with it. So occasionally they open the tap as they have opened right now, and raw sewage, fecal matter, is going directly, flowing through the community into the drain. And that is where this woman is selling banku, mutu, and other things, preparing them by the drain for sale on the market. So we have seized the food. Currently we have banku and other things in the vehicle at the moment. They have also given notices to the toilet operator to appear in court. There is also currently where we are standing, people are holding their noses because we've uncovered a septic tank that has been covered with tarpaulin, and inside that is fully the septic tank is so full that people in this community cannot breathe. Let me speak with the environmental health director who is leading the team at the moment. What action have we seen so far?
Yes, on the part of the food sold closer to the drain, we've seized the food. We assume that the food is not healthy for human bin. And then the toilet, because he has opened it to the public lane, we closed the toilet and I've called the woman to come and dislodge the toilet. We are asking the woman to come to the office and come and explain to her why he has allowed that thing to happen. Yeah, so we are content. There's another area here. So unfortunately, the owner is not there. So if you ask them to barricade the place, because if the place is dangerous, don't take care, somebody can fall in. So they are coming to barricade the place, prevent people from even falling into that place.
So this is Anyam, and this is the multimedia KMA sanitation enforcement team.
We're grateful. That's Erastus Asari Donko. In the meantime, please keep your environments clean, and you can join the conversation with the hashtag #JoyCleanGhana. The Midday News will take a quick break. When we return, Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu drags Attorney General and construction firm Waterville to the Supreme Court for failing to enforce judgment debt retrieval order handed government in 2013. We'll bring you details of the suit.
Let's go, My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
Kremasa, Ghana, so we pay correct medicine pa. And you make us super. Me a super medicine and kasa. Because our job no and better. They won't see how beautiful and high quality your work is. That be what them they use believe you. That be why me too. It be only super cement I they use. Cement mu cement. Cement papa. Inti me cries in from because it's super. Because me the super cement and DVD ra.
Super cement is designed to ensure that your buildings stand strong for generations. Build with Supersem Cement. Build your dream. Build.
Ago, my people, the Electoral Commission announces that the exhibition of the Voters Register comes off from Tuesday, 10th September to Tuesday, 17th September 2019 from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. All those who registered from the 2012 after 2019 registration exercises should go in person to their polling stations to check if their names and particulars have been properly captured in the register. Go with your voter's ID card to facilitate fast checking of names. If you have lost your ID card, you should still go and check. Go to the polling station and have all your complaints resolved. Help ensure a clean and credible voters register by helping to remove names of deceased relatives. Come along with burial, death or obituary notice to help clean up the register. Let us help clean up the voters register to ensure free and fair election. Remember, the exhibition of the voters register comes off from Tuesday, 10th September to Tuesday, 17th September 2019 from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Let's do sports now. Benedict also has the latest.
Well, the Black Meteors received the Heroes Welcome at the Kotoka International Airport after defeating Algeria to qualify for the 2019 Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt. Very exciting scenes at the airport with massive cheering from the Ghana Supporters Union. Let's hear from skipper Yayabua, who was actually very happy to see the supporters.
Yeah, we are not surprised because we were expecting this reception, and then we are proud that everybody came to support us, and then for us it's going to encourage us a lot to work really hard.
What does it say to what you guys did out there?
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, we played a good game, we won, and then that's the most important thing. We qualified, and then now we are focused on the AFCON, and then you see what. Yeah, you know, I told a lot of people like we drew 1-1 here, and then that give us the confidence. Because if we won maybe 2-1, maybe when we go there we relax, okay, we are leading. But the 1-1 that we drew here give us the confidence and make sure that we are going there, we're going to work really hard, and that's exactly what we did, and then we got a win.
Alright, so that was Black Meteor skipper Yayabua. Later on, we'll hear from Coach Ibrahim Tanko. Now, World Athletics Governing Body, the IAAF, has satisfied the re-election of Professor Francis Dodo as Ghana Athletics Association President for a third term, despite the position of the National Sports Authority that it does not recognize the elections. There is a letter to this effect from the IWF, and it's coming from Sebastian Coe, who is IWF president, and that letter is addressed to Professor Francis Dodu. Just will quote some portions of the letter, and says, once again, the athletics community in Ghana has renewed its confidence in you, which is a clear indication of the continued appreciation and respect they have for you, and for which I extend my sincere congratulations. I would like to take this opportunity to wish you continued success of the head of your federation, and to assure that will remain at your disposal for any assistance you may require. I look forward to our continued collaboration for the promotion and development of athletics in Ghana. That's a spot.
Thank you very much, Benedict. Now, Special Prosecutor Martin Amedu has dragged the Attorney General and construction firm Waterville to the Supreme Court for failing to enforce a judgment debt retrieval order directed at the government of Ghana and the company in 2013. My colleague Nick Opoku has a copy of the writ filed by Mr. Amedu and joins us in studio. Nick, first give us a brief background on this case.
Well, so MFL, we do know that in 2004, Ghana won the bid to host the 2008 African Cup of Nations, and by virtue of winning the bid, Ghana had to rehabilitate some football stadia in the country, and so it entered into an agreement with Waterville Holdings Limited, which is an international company, for the rehabilitation of the Baba Yara and Elwak stadia. Now, pursuant to that agreement, the government of Ghana made some payments of about 47 million euros to Waterville Holdings and Woyome. Now, according to Article 1815 of the 1992 Constitution, any international agreement or business transaction that the government of Ghana enters into must be approved by Parliament. It is on that basis that Martin Amedu went to court in 2018 seeking that the agreement be declared void because it was not placed before Parliament for approval, and the court agreed with him. Now, the court subsequently made an order for the 47 million euros, which was paid to Waterville and Woyome, to be returned to the government of Ghana. Fast forward to 2009, what Martin Amedu, in his private capacity as a private citizen, is asking the court to do is to make an order to the Attorney General to enforce that judgment that was made in 2018. So essentially, Martin Amedu is asking the court to make an order for the Attorney General to go back for the money that was, given. Exactly.
So in this recent writ also, is it the same relief he's seeking or different relief?
Different writs. Now he's seeking for the enforcement of the judgment debt that was given in 2008, and the court is going to hear this case in October 16 this year.
Okay, that's my colleague Neko Poku with details of that writ filed by Special Prosecutor Martin Amedu. It's time now for fact checking, and today we focus on claims made by the General Secretary of the governing New Patriotic Party, John Buedu, at a news conference yesterday. Raymond Akwa joins me with more on the claims and the verdicts. Raymond, let's start with the NPP General Secretary's claim that former President Mahama admitted in 2016 that irresponsible licensing and poor supervision led to the collapse of the financial sector.
Today, listening to candidate Mahama talk about the financial sector in a saintly tone when in his own sessional address to Parliament, he admitted that the irresponsible licensing and poor supervision by his appointed Bank of Ghana leadership that had led to the collapse under his watch.
What's the verdict on that?
This is mostly true. Of course, it's true that page 20 of the State of Nations address in 2016, former president did say, and I'm quoting directly from him, over the past 5 years, there's been a proliferation of microfinance companies. These companies come under the direct supervision of the Bank of Ghana. Unfortunately, lack of effective supervision has resulted in many cases in which microfinance companies licensed by the Bank of Ghana have breached the rules and created supposed pyramid schemes that have eventually come crashing down. It is worthy of note that the entire session is under the heading microfinance companies, and there was no reference to the universal banks in this case.
Okay. Now, John Buedu also claimed that the NDC government only talked about the second compact of the Millennium Challenge account with Ghana.
We implemented it. We left power in 2008, and since then, the only thing the NDC managed to do was be talking about it. But the compact 1 was flowing from the compact 2.
And the verdict on that is?
This is misleading. Let me just quickly run through some of the things that happened under the NDC government in this case. The actual action on the second compact started with Parliament approving it on July 22, 2014, and it was signed with the MCC of the USA on the 5th of August the next month. Government of Ghana made the concession decision on April 8, 2015. And because you don't have time, let me just skip to the point where the compact entered into force on September 6, 2016. And upon entry into force, Ghana was granted access to the first allocation of compact funds in the amount of $308.2 million US.
And Raymond Aqua with fact checking. We'll get more in our subsequent bulletins. And just before we go, it's Tech Thursday. Love FM's Kwesi Deborah has been speaking to students of the computer engineering department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. They're talking about blockchain.
A paper presented at the 4th UMAT Biennial International Mining and Mineral Conference reviewed land cases comprise about 59% of total legal tussles in Ghana. Though the average land cases per year is 25%, the rate of settlement is as low as 10%.
There is general indiscipline in the land market, and then a typical problem is dual ownership.
Final year students Victoria Aki Delali and Kwabena Ponsa Boateng decided to experiment with blockchain technology.
So a blockchain is a growing list of records called blocks which are linked using cryptography. So we have so many blocks linked together, and then a block contains the information block, and it goes on and on and on, forming a long chain of blocks linked together. By design, a blockchain is resistant to the modification of data. Once the data has been recorded and appended to the chain, it becomes very difficult to alter that data without subsequently altering all the previous blocks.
The students sought to understand existing blockchain and non-blockchain models.
Love FM's Kwesi Deborah with Tech Thursday. And quickly, Maps, what are people talking about on social media?
People are talking about the Assemblyman Joseph Addo, who assaulted Journeys photojournalist David Ando when they're embarking on the hashtag Joy Clean Ghana sanitation campaign. Daniel says, good work always meets resistance from people who are afraid of change. Keep on with the good work. Change will surely come. This one is from Ed Godash, who says, I hope this guy isn't going to be cleared later like the containers at the Tema Harbour. The last one is from Citizen Black, who says, what will be left of such uncivilized entities in our communities had it not been our stinking system of political adventures?
That's it for the Midday News. I am Memefa Apau. Please log on to myjoyonline.com for more news. Thanks so much for your company.